Hey peeps, we are back. We are talking true crime. It's been a while since I posted a true crime video, only because true crime, sometimes it just really gets to you, and some of these crimes are so barbaric and gut-wrenching that sometimes you just have to take a break. You need to shake it off, clear your mind, and think of happy things, get lost in some silly reality TV show. So I took a little break, but now we're back. And this crime took place in my home state, good old, wild, wonderful West Virginia. And oh my gosh, listen, to the family and friends of the victim, to the victim's children, I am sorry. I take no enjoyment out of telling the story. I am so sorry for your loss. So I want to start by showing you this news clip.
Suspect, a registered sex offender, turned himself in for failing to notify state police of a new address in Kentucky. 59 News reporter Caroline Forback has the latest.
September 2019, state troopers were questioning Larry Paul McClure at the Welch detachment for violating his sex offender registry. That's when McClure revealed shocking information, leading investigators down a dark and twisted path of murder and incest.
On September 24th, 2019, we were advised of this crime by Larry Paul McClure.
He told them about a murder in McDowell County that happened 7 months prior, on February 14, 2019. When Trooper K.M. Sadler followed up, McClure's story checked out.
We did respond to the residence where the crime occurred, and the victim's remains were found on the property.
The victim was John McGuire. Here at the scene, we discovered a path leading to some disturbed ground that looks a lot like a shallow grave. In October, troopers arrested McClure and his daughters, Amanda Naylor McClure and Anna Choudhary.
Murder, first degree, conspiracy, and concealment of a deceased human body.
Reporting in McDowell County, Caroline Forback, 59 News.
So it turns out that Larry and Amanda McClure, as well as Larry's other daughter, Anna Choudhary, murdered Amanda's boyfriend, John McGuire. So it all started when John, the victim, and Amanda were living together in Minnesota. John was Amanda's boyfriend. They decided to move to Larry's house. Larry is Amanda's father. In Skyguski, I hope I'm saying that right, West Virginia. Anna, the other sister, said that the couple had been going through withdrawals and coming down from meth. It seems that both John and Amanda were meth users, and I'm gonna say allegedly just because the articles I read say that they were on meth, but I don't know these people personally, so I can't just say that. While they were on the road on their way to West Virginia, the car that they were driving broke down in Indiana, and Anna said that her and her father agreed to come to Indiana and pick them up. After a week of being in West Virginia, Amanda and John allegedly decided that they were going to make their own methamphetamine. Anna said that her and Larry decided to help them by gathering up all of the ingredients that they needed to make meth. It turns out that they must have tried to do this freestyle without the actual recipe or without knowing how to make meth, and the batch never did crystallize, so they decided to just store the liquid in a glass jar. Anna said during the time that John and Amanda were at the house, she could notice that her father had kind of a quiet rage. He was off a little. He wasn't quite acting himself. And she also noticed that he was always having little side conversations with Amanda, and she didn't realize that there was anything sinister going on or anything sinister that was about to, take place. So on February 14th, 2019, They decided that they were going to have a Valentine's Day dinner. They were going to have steak and potatoes and wine, and Anna says that she noticed that her sister Amanda kept this empty bottle of wine near her through the entire dinner instead of throwing it away. And she said that's when she realized that things were starting to get a little strange. Anna says that after dinner, Larry, her father, suggested that they play a game called Trust. And this game was under the pretenses that they tie John's feet together and Larry just sat there on the couch. Anna says he had this really eerie smile on his face and she didn't really understand what was happening. She says that when her dad sat down on the couch and she saw that grin on his face, it was indescribable to her. She couldn't really understand what that face meant. She had never seen him grin or, smile in that sinister way before. At some point, John sat up and bent down to try to untie his feet, and Anna says it happened so quickly. Amanda stood up, grabbed the bottle from the table, and bashed him over the back of the head. Anna says then her father looked over at her and said, "If I knew what was best for my children and wanted them to live, I would follow all instructions that were given to me from that moment on." Now I'm telling you right now, I'm sorry, no, I'm not. When you take a look at her father and then you take a look at her, I feel that she could have rushed him. She did not say that her father held a gun to her. He just gave her a threat. To me, that is, I don't care. I'm gonna leave here and I'm gonna call 911. I am not going to be frightened by your little threats. Are you kidding me? You look like I could push you down with a small, simple push. Buddy, no. You just had your daughter do your dirty work and bust this man over the back of the head. I can take you. I'm sorry, I will not be a part of any crimes. I will not be a part of any murders. No, your little threat is not enough for me to be a part of this. I'm sorry, no. Listen, if she didn't want to fight her dad, that's fine. She could have said, "Oh my gosh, all this excitement, I have to go to the bathroom." And she could have just ran out. She could have came up with all sorts of excuses that she needed to leave the room for a second. But she stayed. She was a part of it, which makes her a disgusting human being. Amanda and John had only been living there for 10 days. According to Anna, for hours, this trio proceeded to torture John, with Amanda repeatedly accusing him of being a federal informant. I don't know if that was the drugs. I have no idea why this woman would accuse this man of being an informant. No clue whatsoever, but he was not an informant. She kept demanding that he tell her who he was. Ma'am, do you even know who you are right now? Anna continues to say in court that Amanda instructed her to inject McGuire with 2 syringes of what she claimed was truth serum, which was supposed to be sodium pentothal, but in reality it was that liquid from the bad batch of meth. So they injected this guy with 2 syringes of this non-crystallized meth. What? Let me tell you something. I have said this before and I will say it again. If you don't want to be with someone, step. Leave. You did not have to have him there. You could have told him, "You know what, John? It's time for you to get your broken down car and head on back to Minnesota. Or I can drop you off at this bus stop. Or could we call your mother and ask her if she could send you money to pay for a bus? Or if she could actually come and pick you up?" You do not resort to murder. This makes 0 sense to me. If you don't want someone, let them go. Let them move on and find someone who wants to be with them. This man was a father, an uncle, a cousin, a son, a brother. I do not condone taking someone's life for any reason. I don't condone taking someone's life. Now, if you are in a situation that is life or death, it is your life versus their life, by all means, do what you need to do. But this was not that situation. This was a group of people who were absolutely crazy. And I'm thinking, you know, was Anna and Larry on the drugs? Or were they just nuts? And I'm coming back to they are just out of their daggone minds. When she injected him with these 2 syringes of the bad meth, she injected it into his carotid artery. Amanda assumed that after these 2 injections, he would die automatically. She just knew that it would kill John, but it didn't kill him. Anna says that it just made him high and that it gave him more strength, and it was harder for them to keep him down. Anna says that then her father, Larry, and Amanda stood over her and told her that she needed to finish it. She needed to strangle him. So that's exactly what she did. She decided to strangle him. My thing is, Anna, did you have any sense? No common sense whatsoever. My thing is if you were not a part of the planning, you didn't know this was going to happen, how can you just take part in this? There's nothing in your heart, in your mind, in your spirit that says, I can't watch this man die. I can't be a part of this. This is not right. Nothing says there's got to be some weapons around here that I could knock the hell out of my dad and my sister with, that I couldn't take off running. I didn't hear in any of the reports that I read that there was a gun. So if there is no gun there, you couldn't have hauled tail out of there and got to a phone to call the police for help for John. I am absolutely positive if she would have just been stronger and smarter and ran out and called for help, that John would still be here today with his family. But instead, he was tortured, and she was a part of it. She says that she strangled John. She took a rope and tied it around his neck. After they killed John, the family burned all of his belongings. They put his body in garbage bags and eventually buried him in the backyard. 6 days after John's murder, Anna says that Amanda wanted proof her boyfriend was really dead, so they dug up the body. Once his body was dug up, they pounded bed nails into his body with a sledgehammer and then reburied the remains. What? What? Also, shortly after the murder, now here's something else that's quite odd. Amanda and her biological father, Larry, have the sex. They have sex together. So what they're saying is Larry's problem with John was that John was Amanda's boyfriend, and he didn't like that. He didn't want anyone with her except for himself. So with John out of the way, he's free to have the sex with Amanda. Oh my God, these people are scum. So here they are having the sex in the house where they know that they have just killed this man, on the same property that they have him buried in the backyard. 1 month later, the trio drove to Tazewell County, Virginia, where Amanda and Larry applied for a marriage license. So on March the 11th, 2019, Amanda married her biological father, Larry. They actually had a ceremony. What in the hell? Anna says that she had no idea that her father, Larry, was having a relationship with her sister, Amanda. She says at this point she was done. So now you're done. Okay. It wasn't the fact that you all just killed this innocent man that drove you to leave. It was when you found out that he married and was having the sex with his own daughter, your sister. That's what made you leave? Oh, God, this is so disgusting. John's body was found on September 24th, 2019. The reason they found and uncovered the body was Larry is a registered sex offender who had failed to register. So, of course, the police came knocking. When they came to visit Larry went ahead and told. He gave them the entire story about the murder of John McGuire. Immediately, the police went to the residence and uncovered the victim's remains. In October of 2019, the authorities arrested Amanda, Anna, and Larry. Anna has not been sentenced as of yet. However, she has pled guilty and she's possibly going to be sentenced to 40 years. And I think she should do every single day of that 40 years. If they could give her more, they should. She could have saved him if she only tried. When the police did their interview with Larry, he wrote them a letter. And the letter says, "I just want it over. No trial, no taxpayer money spent for a trial. It is hard for the state of West Virginia to fight against itself because I plead guilty. No contest. Thank you for your time on this matter. Larry Paul McClure Sr." Wow. So it turns out that Larry never raised Amanda or Anna. They were both adopted by Alan and Gwen Home, and they were actually at the trial, of course, and they stood up to speak and they apologized to the McGuires. They apologized to John's mother, Karen Smith, for their daughter's actions. They said, "I want to apologize on our behalf. I can't imagine what the family is going through." I can't imagine what they were going through either. But I can assure you it was the horror that they never wanted. It is the never-ending nightmare of this mother. You took her child from her. You took him from his children. If you didn't want to be with him, break up with him. If you really wanted to be with Larry, your own father, you could have broken up with him. Larry could have said, "Get out of my house." No one needed to be killed. No one. Amanda also stood up in court during her sentencing. She wanted to apologize to the family for taking her boyfriend John's life. And she says, "I have to look at myself every day. My family didn't raise me to be this way. I've not only hurt John's family, I hurt my own family." That's to say the least. That is to say the least. Yes, your family will still be able to come to jail and see you. John's family, his kids, they can never see him again. That is the least you could say. Once you do something like this, you can't go back. You can't go back. Amanda was sentenced to 40 years in prison. Karen requested that the judge make Amanda send her a letter every single day that simply says, "I killed John McGuire, your son." She wants a letter every day, every single day, to be written and mailed to her, because she wants them to always remember, you are sitting here in this tiny jail cell because you murdered John McGuire. And you know, I appreciate that, because I did see this other case, and I cannot think of what case it was, but the judge sentenced this person to life in prison. However, he also put in his sentence that his jail cell needs to be covered in pictures of the lady that he killed. The judge said, "I want you to wake up every day and look at that face. Look at the face of the woman you murdered." And I thought, whoa, that's good. You should have to face that lady every single day. But John's mom, Karen, she's on to something. Write that every day that you killed him and send it to me. I appreciate that. Larry was sentenced to life in prison with no mercy, meaning there are absolutely no chance of parole.
I told you I would take the life with mercy plea. Okay, that my understanding is that the state never offered you a plea to life with mercy.
No, sir. That was my misunderstanding between me and Missy. Yeah.
Okay, and the plea that was offered to you was to plead guilty to first-degree murder with no recommendation of mercy. I mean, with no recommendation at all. On a Thursday morning, you were sitting on your porch, and Amanda came out and said she wanted to kill John.
Correct, sir.
And she needed some things. Rope or tape or something, some other things. And you agreed to help her with.
I can't wait for them because I've been in prison and they've been in adoption.
So y'all agree, and this is all on Thursday still, right?
Yeah.
Ultimately, you end up playing this trust game and John gets tied up.
Yep.
Okay. And before he gets tied up, he and Amanda have a dispute, and Amanda whacks him in the head with this wine bottle.
Across the back of the head, yes, that's the head.
And his head was bleeding from that. He was kind of adamant.
It was bleeding pretty bad there.
There's hitting and kicking, right? He was hit and kicked by his
No, he wasn't hit or kicked either one, no.
tied up.
He was kept tied up. Amanda took and stood on the side of his head, and Anna gave him 2 shots of the liquid meth, 200 cc's in his neck.
Now, was that in the living room or in the
It was
bedroom?
in the bedroom.
Okay, so he had already been
He
taken.
got been moved and tied back up in the bedroom, yes.
Okay, and was this the second day?
This was the last day of it, so I guess we
Okay,
didn't.
so probably,
It was Valentine's Day. There was a black garbage bag, loose contractor bag wrapped around his head by Amanda. And Anna had the 1-inch tape rope around his neck. She strangled him, and Anna and Amanda took poleaxe and cut him up. In this thing, there'd been 3, and I'm going to go ahead and say it, I'm sorry for the picture, there'd been 3 drug addicts taken off the street, and 3 drug users. There've been 3 murders taken off the street, that's me and my 2 daughters. And there've been 3 fathers lost to this. She lost her son, and her kids lost their father. I lost my dad during this because of the publicity, and my daughters have lost me. Now, there's nothing that I can do to go back and say, oh, God, I'm sorry. If I can turn back the wheels, it wouldn't happen. I do believe in God. I do believe everything happens for a reason. Can I say if I was to go back to that moment today, that it would not happen? No, I cannot say that. I mean, we got to live in reality of life. I can't go back and take something back that is done happen. But I did. And then the end result of it, I still lost it.
Well, you also made a conscious choice to help your daughters heal.
Yes, I did. Yes, I did.
And if it was 3 days of hell for you or for them,
I know what it was for him. It was living hell for him. And they made the man sit there and they made him believe that when he woke up, he would be on the streets of Minnesota. I didn't tell him that. They did.
To my God, him and her had never been together because my son told me everything. Every time he slept with a woman, every time he done anything with a woman, I knew when my son shot up, I knew when he done drugs, I knew everything about my son. The night before y'all killed him, he told me, no, I'm not going to make it home for Valentine's or any other time. I'm going to be like my 2 daddies. And I said, well, they're dead. He said, I know, Mama. And I said, well, what about your money? He said, where I'm going, I won't need it. And he don't need it because he's in heaven. But I promise you, you and your 2 kids are going straight to hell, wide open. Because y'all are sorry. Sorriest people I ever seen. For you to marry your own daughter, that's low down. Low down as dirt. But I'm going to live to see you or one of your kids die before I leave this earth. God's told me. And I hope you remember how I look and how I talk. Because if I had it my way, I'd have every one of y'all write me a letter every day. I killed your son for at least a year and mail it to me so y'all won't forget it. Because I don't think y'all even care. I don't think you care about what you've done to me and my grandbabies.
Same judgment comes when both my daughters or sounds like the same judgment comes down on them.
That was heartbreaking. I felt that mother's pain. And the whole time that I was watching, I was thinking, that could have been anybody's son. That could have been my son. You know? My heart goes out for the entire family. I am so sorry for your loss. I am glad that there was some sort of justice. They will all be in jail for a very long time. And I absolutely hope judges make all 3 of them write that letter every single day. Let there never be a day, an hour, a minute, a second that goes by without you realizing there was another choice. You didn't have to hit him over the head with that bottle of wine. You didn't have to inject him in the artery with methamphetamine. You didn't have to strangle him. That wasn't required. According to documents, they tortured this man for 3 days. 3 days. That was 72 hours that you could have come to your senses. So day after day, nothing said to any of them. We should let him go. We should call an ambulance. What we are doing right now is wrong. Nothing at any moment said this is wrong. You people should live under the jail. My heart goes out to the victims. My heart goes out to every friend, every family member of John McGuire. I am truly sorry for your loss. And until next time, bye.